Before we dive in, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more gripping true crime stories just like this. For years, the case was considered finished. The conviction stood, the sentence was served, and the authorities, they moved on. But buried deep inside court records documents no one wanted to read was a truth so disturbing, so inconvenient, that it had been ignored for years. Not because it was unclear, not because it lacked evidence, but because acknowledging it would have meant admitting something far worse. This is the story of how a courtroom file sealed, overlooked, and dismissed quietly exposed a failure of justice, and how the truth waited patiently for someone brave enough to read it. The arrest came fast. Within 48 hours of the crime, police had a suspect in custody. The press conference was confident. The language was absolute. We believe we have the right person. The suspect, let's call him Marcus Hale, had no prior violent record, no history of similar crimes, no forensic evidence tying him directly to the scene, but what he did have was proximity. He lived nearby. He knew the victim. And under intense questioning, he gave a statement that police would later call a confession. From that moment on, the case stopped being an investigation. It became a confirmation. Marcus's confession was brief, vague, lacking detail. It didn't mention the weapon accurately. It misstated the timeline. And it included facts already released publicly, but none of that mattered. Because to authorities, a confession is the strongest evidence of all. What the jury never heard was how that confession was obtained. 12 hours of interrogation, no lawyer present, repeated suggestions by investigators, statements corrected by police mid-sentence. And yet, in court it was presented as voluntary, clear, and final. Case closed. The trial lasted 6 days. 6 days to decide the rest of a man's life. The prosecution leaned heavily on the confession. The defense tried to raise doubts, but every objection felt drowned out. When forensic experts testified, their uncertainty was minimized. When witnesses contradicted each other, it was brushed aside. And when the defense asked about missing evidence, the judge sustained the objection. The jury deliberated for just 4 hours. The verdict, guilty. No cheers, no shock, just silence. Marcus was sentenced to decades in prison. And the case faded into the archives. Years passed. Appeals were denied. Records were sealed. The system moved on, but inside a storage facility, dusty shelves stacked with case files sat a transcript few people had bothered to examine. Not a headline document, not a dramatic exhibit, just court records. And inside those records were details that told a very different story. One document showed that forensic results had been received after the confession, but were never disclosed fully to the defense. Another revealed that a witness statement had been altered between depositions. And one page buried deep contained a timeline that proved Marcus could not have been at the scene, but no one challenged it because no one looked. The red flags were everywhere. DNA that excluded Marcus surveillance footage never shown in court, a phone record that contradicted police testimony, each one dismissed as non-essential. Each one documented. Each one ignored. Why? Because reopening the case would have meant admitting procedural failure, admitting misconduct, admitting that a conviction had been built on shaky ground, and in some systems, finality matters more than truth. Enter Evelyn Carter, a post-conviction attorney known for reading what others skipped. She didn't come looking for headlines. She came looking for margins, footnotes, appendices, and that's where she found it. A discrepancy in dates, a forensic report referenced but never introduced. A witness who changed their story under oath. One by one, she connected the dots. And what emerged wasn't just reasonable doubt, it was a pattern. When the motion to reopen the case was filed, the courtroom filled again. Older, quieter, more cautious. The prosecution resisted. They argued procedure, timelines, finality, but the records spoke louder. For the first time, the judge read the file completely, and the silence that followed was heavy. Because the truth was undeniable, the conviction had been secured, without the full truth ever being presented. The ruling didn't come immediately. Weeks passed. Then, quietly, the court issued its decision. The conviction was vacated, not overturned on a technicality, not dismissed due to paperwork, vacated because the evidence never supported it. Marcus walked out of prison years older than when he entered. The truth had won, but far too late. The most dangerous lies aren't shouted. They're filed away, stamped, stored, ignored. This case wasn't solved by new evidence. It wasn't cracked by technology. It was solved by reading what was already there. Court records don't lie, but they only speak when someone listens. Subscribe for more shocking true crime stories that defy belief. Like, share, and comment if you believe the truth can be hidden in plain sight.